in a nutshell, I would be classified as a baby boomer. And in the 60s, probably groups like the Eagles said it best. What they said was, in one of their songs, if you have nothing to believe in, what you do is you take it to the limit one more time. So it was pretty well every man for himself. I don't think that I was anti-system or anti-establishment, but I nearly was. I nearly was. And someone sat down with me. I have a couple of degrees from Louisiana Tech University, and I studied out the theory of evolution on how we arrived here, how the cosmos arrived here, how the earth arrived here. What actually brought me here was I never had read the biblical account. So once I read the biblical account and I stacked it up against the Darwinism, some fellow showed me that 2,000 years ago, this Jesus of Nazareth came on the scene. It was God in flesh. He died on a cross for my old rotten life, was put in a tomb and resurrected from the dead. And when I started to kind of realize that dead men could live again, I could either put my faith in this evolution thing where there's no hope, or put my faith in the Almighty, and that Jesus of Nazareth was really who he said he was. So based on that, the Bible claims that Jesus left the earth about 33 AD, went back to heaven where he came from, and he now rules. And a lot of people in this society, they don't think so, but I've put my faith in that. I was baptized in water for the remission of my sins, and that, in a nutshell, is the good news about Jesus. I know this, it was good news for me. So a lot of people might think, well, so from the 60s to now I can follow Jesus, and I can still be in a lifestyle of not being worldly. I can see, in other words, the Bible says that we're to live our lives here as strangers and aliens. So the bottom line is, most people who run up on me down here, they do think I'm kind of strange. I say, Jesus number one, boys. That's the only way I know of we're getting out of here. Unless y'all have another, better idea. Most people kind of scratch their head and say, So I'm putting my faith in the biblical record. At least I have a great hope when I physically die of having my body resurrected from the ground. It's very simple. If Jesus of Nazareth was who he said he was, I am convinced, based on my study of the Bible, then I'm coming out of the ground too. If he came out, I'm coming out. And if he didn't come out of the ground, I don't think anyone's coming out of the ground. So I'm putting my faith in him. So I told my wife, I said, in order to get away from all of my old friends and all of this, temptation, running after dollar bills, whatever, I said, we need to find us a little place down there, and I'm going to fish the river. I'm going to build duck calls. I said, we will make it. She said, hey, let's go for it. So we ended up down here and at the end of the road in these woods down here. And basically all I do is fish the river, and I build duck calls. I will have to tell you that of all the people that's arrived here, and you being a couple of fellows yourself, I have shared Jesus with them in that simple story, the gospel about him, and I have walked many a one of them down that river, walked down on the bank and baptized them in the river. A lot of them. So in this society, that would be considered maybe, I consider it very wise, and keep your life straight. Keep your life straight. Love your fellow man. Do what's right. Fish and hunt ducks for a living, build a few duck calls. In my mind, that's going to be hard to top, but I guess it's sort of what a man wants, But that's pretty well what got me down in here. The Almighty, I guess, fear of the Almighty.